that life when we know him. Well, I want to teach you a new song today, and I love the words of this song because we sing about God's love and who he is. And in the scriptures, it says that God is love. And so I want to read this familiar passage to you. You've probably heard it in many weddings, if not every wedding you've ever attended. But it's from 1 Corinthians. And I want us, as I read it, I want you to think about, I'm going to read about what love is, but knowing that God is love, I want you to think about who God is as I read this. These are his character traits. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. And then it goes on to say that three things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. And that's because there is no greater love available to us than the love that is from Jesus. We all want to be loved. Where are you looking for love today? Only Jesus can give us love that is whole, and every piece of his heart he wants to give to each one of us today. God created us out of his love, and as we live our lives with him, he gently corrects us with his love. So today, as you learn this song, as we sing these words, let them align your heart and your mind to the truth. And that's his love is for you, and there's nothing better. Let's sing this together. the restless kind. Your love's not passive, it's never disengaged, it's always present, it hangs on every word we say. Love keeps its promises, it keeps its word, it honors what's sacred, 'cause its vows are good. Your love's not broken, it's not insecure. Your love's not selfish, 'cause your love is pure. And you don't give your heart in
Jesus, there's no one beside you. Forever the hope in my heart. Oh, to be like you, give all I have just to know you. Jesus, there's no one beside you. Forever the hope in my heart. And it's all because of you, Jesus. It's all because of you, Jesus. It's all because of your love that my soul will live. And it's all because of you, Jesus. It's all because of you, Jesus. It's all because of your love that my soul will
it is. It's all for you. We sing loud, and you know this, because of what you've done in our lives. You've broken our chains. You've lifted our lids. You've walked us into freedom, into right living with you. You, Father, gave it all so that we may live. And Father, that's our prayer today. It's our prayer that we can give it all. To know you more, to become more like you, and to walk in the calling and purpose that you have called us to. So today, Father, I ask in the name of Jesus that right now you would prepare every heart in this room to hear from you today, to do just that. Because, God, it's for you and your glory alone. Amen.
Amen. As you're being seated, let's give a big hand to God before we do that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Now you can be seated. As you're being seated, turn to your neighbor and say, it's good to see you in church. Yeah. It's good to see you in church. Glad you're here. My name is Jody, and I'm not Brandon. I'm not Susan, okay? So I'm excited to share with you this weekend while Brandon and Susan are out enjoying some time together with their family. Excited to share what God has for us today. I'm going to do my best to set the bar really low if you're a first-time guest, VIP. That way when you come back, you'll be really impressed, right? I'm just joking. Take a joke. Okay, I'll chill out. No, I'm honored. Amy and I love this church. We love this place. And really excited that, 13, 14 years ago, Brandon and Susan decided to follow God and do something crazy. Build a house, start a church, jump out on this mission for this city and this area. And Amy and I are completely honored to be a part of every single day of what God does here at Keystone Church. And this summer has been awesome already. It's been awesome. I don't know about you. It's hot outside, but we're all about swimming in snow cones in my house. So we're just trying to do anything we can to stay cool. But it's been a great week. It's been an awesome series. We've been in this series called Anchor at Keystone, and Brandon will pick that up when he returns. If you've missed any week of Anchor, this series, you should go back and listen to it, watch it through technology. You can jump on our website. I know it will bless your life. So go back and listen to it if you've missed any weeks of this series. It's been awesome for our church, so I want to invite you into that. I'm going to talk about a story today in John chapter 2. John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. This is a story from the book of John. If you're new to church, new to Keystone, there's 4 different accounts, 4 different versions of the life of Jesus: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We're going to pick it up in John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. And I'm excited to share what God has for us today. Let's go there right now. John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. We're going to read it together, and then we're going to unpack kind of verse by verse what God has for us. And I think it'll bless your life. And if you're ready, say, I'm ready. There you go. Y'all are ready to go. I love that. On the 3rd day, a wedding took place at Cana in Galilee. And Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. And when the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, they have no more wine. In verse 4, woman, why do you involve me? He says. And Jesus replied, my hour has not yet come. His mother said to the servants, do whatever he tells you. And nearby stood 6 stone water jars, the kind used by the Jews for ceremonial washing, each holding from 20 to 30 gallons. And Jesus said to the servants, fill the jars with water. So they filled them to the brim. Verse 8, he told them, now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet. And they did so, and the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. And he called the bridegroom aside, and he said, everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then the cheaper wine after all the guests have had too much to drink. But you have saved the best till now. What Jesus did here in Cana of Galilee was the first of the signs through which he revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. John 2. John 1, right before this, Jesus had just recruited his first 5 disciples. He had drafted 5 guys, his first 5 picks of the draft. He went and got 5 guys. And there's 12, but these are the first 5. And these are the first 5 that we walk into this story right here with Jesus. And these were fishermen. They were rough guys, tough guys, passionate guys. And these are guys that had said, all right, Jesus, we believe in you. We're believing you're who you say you are, and we want to follow you. We want to be a part of this movement. We want to join in with you and go on this journey. And so we're in. The 5 of us are in. So we're going to jump in, and we're going. These first 5, they take their first step with Jesus, and these are rough guys, smelly guys, fish guts, yucky, nasty feet, right? They're working on the docks. They're working on the boats. This isn't glamorous life. And he says, we're going to go to a wedding. They're like, wedding? Man, I got a buddy at a bar that I know. I want to go talk to him about you. I got family over here. I know some rough guys that we can go share the good news of who you are. And we're smelly and yucky and nasty, and we're going to go to a wedding? Yeah, we're going to go to a wedding. Really? I don't want to go to a wedding. The first place we're going is a wedding? Yeah. We've been invited to a wedding. Now, I want to tell you, go ahead and set this up, but this story today, the message today, it's not a message on if and how we view God's gift of alcohol, okay? So go lay it out there. Okay. Now, throughout the message, if God has something for you about that, then I would receive that. But today's message is not about how we enjoy God's gifts, God's ways, okay? We're passionate about that here at Keystone, about sharing and leading all of us to enjoy God's gifts, God's ways. Alcohol being one of them, relationships being one of them, parenting being one of them, giving being one of them, money being one of them. We are passionate at Keystone about enjoying God's gifts, God's ways. But if this strikes a nerve with you today regarding alcohol in your life, I got to tell you that we did this series a few years ago called God on Tap. Yeah, it was a good one. We served root beer in the lobby. It's awesome. I'd go back and I would listen to that, and I would let God speak to you about alcohol. And if you're on the line, or if you're going through some speed bumps of moderation, little bumpy ride there, go back and let God speak to you regarding the great gift of alcohol. Because we can take any good gift from God and run to it for all the wrong reasons. So I would say go back and listen to that, hear that. Let God speak to you through that series, God on Tap. Verse 1, it says, on the 3rd day, a wedding took place in Cana in Galilee, and Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. Now, Cana was this really small town. So, first step of his ministry, he's going to public ministry, about to step out, take these 5 dudes with him, and they go to this little small town, Cana in Galilee. And they go to a wedding. Now, I've done a few weddings at Keystone. I've married some Keystoners in here. And most of the weddings that I've done, the couple sits down with you before, right? You have coffee or lunch or whatever. And they say, hey, Jody, we want to keep the ceremony apart, right? The ceremony, the service. We want to keep that nice, short, and sweet. Because we want to go party. We really want to go celebrate what this is all about, right? We want to get to the party. So, Jody, if you could just keep it short and sweet, then we can all get to the party, which is why we're really here anyway, right? Keep it short and sweet. And I would tell them, you invited me to do this. I want to do it my way. Short and sweet, because we want to get to the party. A lot of stress around weddings, right? A lot of stress about who we invite to the wedding, right? It's like the invite list is like the first conflict, family conflict. All of a sudden, the in-laws you're about to, connect with, they're like, now they're outlaws. It's like, whoa, what happened here? because Aunt Johnny from Tennessee's got to be here, and Aunt Susie from Tennessee got to be here, and Bernie from Birmingham, whatever. I'm just sticking with it, all right? And you've never even met these people, but they got to get invited, right? Because we got to get the invite list just right, or we got to get it just under 200, or we got to get it just under 300, or 50 people or less. Who are you inviting? A lot of stress about who's getting invited. You already need counseling before you even get married, just to figure out the invite list, right? It's like, good. Whew. But Jesus was invited. Jesus was invited. He didn't just show up unannounced, uninvited. He showed up because he had been invited. Say invited. He had been invited. And I can only think about what it looked like, the scene when Jesus showed up. You know, Jesus knocks on the door. We're here. Open up the door. Jesus, you're here. You came. We invited you, but we didn't expect you to show up to the party, okay? So we have a plan, okay? Jesus, oh, you brought some friends too. That's cool. We have the buffet line over here, and we got the bride and groom over there. We got the bar over there, but you don't, that's not your thing. And then we have the DJs in the back, partying it up, right? But I tell you what, rather than over there, Jesus, why don't you and your friends come on over here to this corner booth? And if anyone needs prayer, if anyone needs a pastor, then we'll come and find you. But you and your friends, I know you wouldn't want to party like we're partying. You're more of this kind of guy over here. And if we need you, we'll come get you. See, we don't think of Jesus as RSVPing for the party. We don't. We think of Jesus as the buzzkill. He didn't come to give us life. He came to kill our party, kill our good time. When we are turning the music up, we think Jesus wants to always turn the music of our life down. And I think whether you grew up with a religious life or a family that was involved in church, or maybe you saw religion from afar and you always thought, man, God is the cosmic kill. He's just here to beat my life down, not build it up. When Jesus is saying, no, if there's a party I'm invited to, I'm going to show up, he says. And if you invite Jesus to your party, he's going to show up. He is going to show up to your party. But Jody, really like me when I'm playing golf with the fellas, Sky Creek? I mean, that's not the time to bring Jesus along, is it? I think it is. But me and the girls, we're going to get our nails done, get our feet worked on, right? We don't bring Jesus along on that kind of party. And I'd say, oh, yes, you do. See, Jesus doesn't get stressed out when he walks into a party and he sees someone drunk. Oh, my gosh. I can't see it. Mm-mm. See, Jesus, if you don't know who he is, let me tell you. Jesus is all grace, all love, all about you, but he's also all truth, all wrapped up into one. So he can walk into any party season of your life. I call this the party season of the story, the party season of our life, that he walks into your party season and he has love for you, and he has understanding for you, and he has grace for you, but he also has truth for you because he wants to see you as the best life possible, not just where you are. He wants to take you somewhere, but he's fine walking into any environment, any party, if he's invited. He's got to be invited. Got to invite him in. He showed up at this party because he was invited. Verse 3, when the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, they have no more wine. They have no more wine. And this is a freak out moment for this party, okay? I don't know if it was a freak out moment for Mary, but if you ran out of wine and you're hosting this party, well, that doesn't look good on you. You're dishonoring the guests. I know when your party, you run out of stuff, you run to Tom Thumb, no big deal. You don't care. It's like, okay, we'll just go get more. But here, in this kind of party, in this kind of celebration, if they ran out of party supplies, if they ran out of refreshments, it was dishonorable for the guests. And actually came back on the groom. It's like, bro, you're about to take my amazing daughter off into sweet, sweet marriage life, and you can't even buy enough plates and cups and ice to host the party. How are you going to provide for her? How are you going to do that? You can't even take care of this scene. It was very, very disrespectful, dishonorable. If you were to run out of wine, and Mary somehow finds out, I don't know if a friend told her, I don't know if she was connected with the host, I don't know if she was connected to the family, but somehow she found out, and she came to Jesus and she said, they have no more wine. Now, two ways she could have said that. She could have come to Jesus and said, they got no more wine. There's no more wine. Tears. And I would say to you, if that's your response to no more wine, God on tap. Okay? Let this be the loving, corrective conversation where if your party goes out, it's like, what are we going to do? We're out of beer. Chill out. It's okay. I don't think that was Mary's heart behind her coming to Jesus and saying, they have no more wine. I think she came to Jesus and said, they have no more wine. They got no more wine. Not freaking out. Not, oh my goodness, there's no more wine. It was, they have no more wine. Respectful, coming to him. And I think the reason she came to him is because she'd probably been going to Jesus for her problems her whole life. Imagine that? Mary, raising perfect 8-year-old Jesus. Jesus is all 8-year-old, and he's all God. How does that work? He's all 12-year-old, and he's all God. He's all teenager, and he's all God. He's all young 20s, and he's all God. He's all young man, and he's all God. And I can only imagine that Mary had been dealing with problems her whole life, coming to Jesus and saying, Jesus, we have a problem. I mean, Jesus had, you think you can manage your chore charts at your house? Jesus was the guy getting up early, involving all the siblings, all the family. We got to get these things done. We want to help mom out. We want to honor mom and dad. Come on, y'all help out. And they loved him for it because he could do it perfectly. He could take care of those socks. He could clean clothes. He could fold clothes. He could repair stuff because he was the son of a carpenter. And when dad gets stuck on a carpenter job, I bet you Jesus handled it at the house. Because see, she had been bringing her problems to Jesus her whole life. I have a question for us. Do the problems in our life, because now we have a problem. Now the wine is out. The party was going, the party was bumping, the party was exciting, but then all of a sudden the party season hits a problem. And the problem is they ran out of wine. What happens when you encounter problems? What happens when you encounter problems? Do you invite Jesus into your problems? Do the problems in your life match up with the prayers of your life? If we were to look at the prayers of my life, would they match up with the problems? Or am I just saying, no, I got this one, Jesus. I got this one covered. I can handle this parenting moment. I don't need you because based on my past, I know how to handle this. And so I don't need you right now. You sit off over here, and I'm going to deal with this myself. And Jesus wants to be invited in to your problems. Do the problems of your life match up with the prayers of your life? Are you taking to God your problems? Or are you saying, no, I got it. I'm all good, man. I'm a tough guy. I can handle this. She's stressed out. She's going through a season of darkness, and I got it. I just got to be tougher. No. You need to just let God in. Let him come in. Just invite him into it. Invite him. He'll show up if he's invited. If he's invited. Verse 4. Jesus responds, "Woman, why do you involve me?" Woman, why do you involve me? Now, it's not disrespectful the way all of you are thinking it is. Fellas, this is not a New Life verse for you. Okay? Don't even. If you walk out of this room and you bring this verse up when she asks you to get involved, that's on you, man. You got to answer for that. Not me. It doesn't translate well for what? Wasn't like, woman, why do you involve me? No, wasn't that. It was, woman, why do you involve me? Why are you involving me? My hour has not yet come. Why are you involving me? It's not the right time, he said. Why are you involving me? It's not the right time. Why are you involving me? You know, I do my miracles before lunch. You know, it's not the right time. I'm more of a 10 to noon kind of miracle guy. No, he's not saying that. He's saying, my hour has not yet come. I was sent here for a purpose. And God sent me here as his son for a purpose and a plan. And the plan is not ready to be set into motion. You're inviting me in. Now you're involving me into it. And it's not the right time. Because I'm doing something different here. I'm here for a different purpose than just this party thing. You know, I'm here for a whole different purpose. And you're involving me, and it's not the right time. This is an awkward mom-son combo, right? It's like, ooh, okay, let's see if she gives him the mom guilt, right? Verse 5. His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." "Woman, why do you involve me? It's not my time yet." Do whatever he tells you. Do whatever he tells you. Just do whatever he tells you. Turn to your neighbor and say, do whatever he tells you. Come on. You got to say it like Mary said it. You know she said it like strong. You're not going to, okay, do whatever he tells you. Do whatever he tells you. Some of you today, you need to hear, do whatever he tells you. It's as simple as that. Mary had an expectation in her Jesus that when she brings the problem to Jesus, oh my goodness, I can expect Jesus to handle it. And you know what? If I've got a problem and I bring it to Jesus, not my problem anymore. Because I just gave it to him. And however he handles it, whether he changes it or doesn't, whether he does a miracle or he doesn't, whatever he does, it's on him. Just do whatever he tells you. I don't know. Do whatever he tells you. Now, Jesus was involved. He had been invited, just enjoying the party. Now, he's involved. Say involved. Now he's involved. He says this in verse 6. Nearby stood 6 stone water jars, the kind used by the Jews for ceremonial washing, each holding from about 20 to 30 gallons. And Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. 6 stone water jars. Over to the side. I got a picture to kind of help you see what these stone water jars look like. These were big jars, big pots, stone, heavy, big, with the capacity of up to 180 gallons of water. And what the Jews would do, they would use this water to clean themselves off before they would enter the presence of God. It was a ceremonial, ritual thing they would do. All right, we're about to talk to God. We're about to worship God, so we need to be clean physically. We need to get washed physically. We don't want to enter into God's presence dirty. We want to come in clean. So these were sitting over to the side. They're just sitting there. Big pots. Look at those. 6 of them. And Jesus said, fill the jars with water. So they filled them to the brim. All right? So they filled them to the brim. You know, if you just read it, you think, oh, that's quick. All right. Jesus said, do this. The next verse says, so they filled them. The first time I read it, I didn't really think about the time it took to fill the jars. Another piece of art kind of connected with me, where it shows the servants using smaller pots to fill the bigger pots. So that told me it took time. It took time. You don't just call up Ozarka truck. They say, hey, man, we need a delivery in Cana. You around? We need 180 gallons of water. Can you drop by and drop it off? No. You don't fill the hose, turn the hose on. All right, here we go. Fill that up. Fill this one up. Fill this one up. No, this took time. It was go to a source. Take a smaller pot. Fill the water up. Maybe you draw out the water of a well. Maybe you pump it up, pump it in, whatever. And you take the smaller pot and you walk. And you walk with the water to the bigger pot. You fill it up. And you do it again. Right? Pump it up, draw it out, fill up one pot, pick it up, carry it over. Remember, it's a simple verse. It was really quick, but it took longer. Fill up the water. Fill up the pot. Here we go. Walking, doing it again. This lady is crazy. She thinks that this is going to do something different. This married girl, she out of her mind. And what are they saying to each other? 3 more pots to go. Keep bringing the water. Keep filling the water. Keep walking with the water. Why? Because she said, do whatever he tells us to do. He told us to fill the pots with water, so we're just going to fill the pots with water. And every party season eventually runs into a problem. And the question is, are you going to run to Jesus with your problems? And the next question is, what are you going to do when he tells you what to do? What is the water source that you're going to run to fill up your pots? What is it for you? If you don't have a job anymore, you thought this was the wine, right? This job is the wine. I've got it. I'm happy. We're excited. He's provided. But all of a sudden, it goes away. And the job you thought you had now, it's gone. We have a problem. There's no more wine. So what do? You go over here, and what do you start filling it with? You start filling it with water of culture? The water of what your buddies say to do? The water of your past? The water of emotions? The water of bitterness? The water of anger? What are you filling up? Because Jesus is saying, fill it up with what I tell you to fill it up with. I said water. You don't fill it up with anything else. You fill it up with what I told you to fill it up with. And they just kept walking. Ooh, I call this the water season. Yeah, water season. It's like the party season is over. We have a problem. We have hit DEFCON 5. Now we have a problem. Now the marriage isn't what I thought it was. The child isn't who I thought he was. The job isn't what it all lined out to be. This is now a new season where it wasn't what I thought it was. Now the wine has run out. I'm in my Water season, my water days. My question for you today is, what are you pumping in? How are you handling your water days? What are you pouring into your life? You're expecting wine, but you're not doing what Jesus asked you to do. And I can tell you, when you pump with the life-giving truth from Jesus, all of a sudden, when you start carrying it, something changes. Circumstances may not change, but you start walking a little different. Maybe when you were putting in the truth of culture and how they told you how to handle your marriage, or they tell you how to handle parenting, or they tell you how to handle a busy schedule. You know what? You just got to add more busyness to your schedule. Then that'll all be better. Just fill your pots with a busier life, then you can avoid your marriage. So that's what the culture tells you to do. Just stay busy. If you stay busy, then you don't have to think about it. And Jesus says, no. Don't fill it with busyness. Fill it with more of me, and just keep carrying it. Keep carrying it. You're in your water season. Turn to your neighbor and say, you're in your water season. You're in your water season. You got to carry the buckets of God's truth for your life in your water season. What's the water season for you? I connected with a guy this week over coffee. And he is so honest. He said, Jody, we moved to Texas because God had led us here. God had led us here to start a new business. God had led us here to plant our family here, find a great church, start doing life here, get into the schools, plant our life here. We had big dreams, big promises, and everything had lined up perfect for this moment. It was amazing. You wouldn't believe the story behind this story of how we found this location, how God provided us. Yes, it's this location. It was amazing. He said, but Jody, you know what? Right now, we feel like things are running low. And we're having conversations with each other about what we're going to do. What are we willing to do? What are we willing to give up? What are we willing to sacrifice in order for this dream and this vision that God clearly sent us here to do to make it reality? What are we willing to do? And I said, you know what? I said, this message is on my heart. Right here, what I'm saying. I said, you're in your water season. You're in your water season. He's just carrying water. He has his family here every week. Ooh, yeah. Okay. God hasn't turned the water into wine yet. But I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to worry about what he told me to do. I'm going to stay involved in church. I'm going to keep getting my family here. When it doesn't feel good out there, you know what? I'm going to just fight through the feeling and bring my family here. And we're going to get water in our life, truth in our life. God is going to do something as he walks in his season of water. I said, you're in your water season. And I would encourage you to keep walking in your water season. And although the circumstance has not changed, he said, we're just going to keep walking. What does it look like to involve Jesus into your water season? Psalm 40, verse 1. It says, I waited patiently for the Lord to help me. And he turned to me, and he heard my cry. And he lifted me out of the pit of despair, out of the mud and out of the mire, and he set my feet on solid ground. As I'm in my water season, he set my feet on solid ground. I added that. It's okay. He has given me a new song to sing in my water season, a hymn of praise to our God in our water season. Our marriage may not be what it is, but you know what? He's given us new songs to sing, and we're believing and we're trusting him to fill the pot and let it change water to wine. Let him worry about that. I'm just going to keep carrying the water in this season of my life. A hymn of praise to our God. Many will see what he has done, and they will be amazed. They will put their trust in the Lord. Oh, my goodness. You know what happens? When you start walking differently through your problems, you start letting that addiction go. You start letting that past hurt go, that business partner who cheated you out of thousands of dollars. You know what happens? When you start walking differently through your water season, oh, man, God will help you. He'll help you walk stronger. He'll set your feet on solid ground. And all of a sudden, your hope is not in the water to wine. Your hope is on all something new. And what happens is people take notice. That's what happens. Your brother who's in another city, you guys talk regularly. All of a sudden, you start saying things differently, handling problems differently, and all of a sudden he starts noticing, man, you've changed. What's the secret? Your girlfriend's at work, your friends at work, the buddies that you hang out with, all of a sudden, man, something's different. And when you start walking in your water season with this verse, as he steadies you, as he gives you a new song to sing, you can sing in the middle of your problems. And I would advocate for you better sing in the middle of your problems. Get in this house, get in this room, and sing louder. The problems in your life should dial up your voice because you need it even more. So you sing louder. How can you sing louder, Dad? All this stress of you not having a job and all this stress of our life, and your kids are watching you sing louder, and they're watching you lead better, and they're watching you operate not on the circumstances and walking home or coming in from the house frustrated and short and angry. No, you're filling up with new water on your way home from work because now you're listening to new songs on the way home from work so you can enter into your life when you get home new, different. All of a sudden your kids, they see a new daddy. They see a new mommy. Like, whoo. Nothing's changed, but something's changed inside him, inside her. That's the water season. Walking and waiting in the water season. Verse 8, it says, then he told them, now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet. And they did so. And the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from, though the servants who had drawn the water, they knew. And he called the bridegroom aside. He said, hey, come here. Everyone brings out the choice wine first, then the cheaper wine after that. Because after the guests have had a lot to drink, they don't know the difference anyway, right? But you have saved the best till now. And what Jesus did here in Cana of Galilee was the first of the signs through which he revealed his glory, and his disciples believed. Say, believed. They believed in him. And so go let the party host have a taste of the stuff that I just made. Go let him take a sip. And the party host doesn't go to Jesus, doesn't go to the servants, doesn't go to anybody else. He goes to the bridegroom because the bridegroom was on the hook, remember? The bridegroom's the one, if he messed up, it was not good for him. Now the bridegroom's all pumped, right? Oh, yeah, that's how I do it, buddy. That's how I roll, man. I always do this. No, you don't. Prior to this moment, this party host, this master of the banquet, every other party he'd been a part of, every other party he'd hosted, every other party he'd experienced, had been done one way. That's what he says. What everyone else does is this way. But you're doing it this way. What's up with that? You're doing it different than any other party I've ever been a part of. Any other life that I've seen has been done one way. Choice, then the cheap stuff. But today, it was flipped. Today, you brought the choice out last. And what you've done today is you have saved the best till now. And what he's saying is what Jesus is saying is that life one way is about to change. Life has been done one way, year after year after year. There was a way to connect with God, but Jesus was saying, I'm about to enter into this moment. My time is now, and I'm about to offer choice life. That's what he's about to say. See, it's not just about the wine at the party. Woo-hoo-hoo. No. It's about a new way to live. And he's about to walk into it, and he's about to say, I am choice. When you get me involved, and when you invite me in, all of a sudden, life gets choice. Life gets better. Life is better with Jesus. Life isn't perfect. No, no, no. Life isn't pain-free. There's always problems. But life is better with Jesus. Whether it's your party days that you'd love to forget, if you can remember them, or your water days where you're carrying it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Or when God comes through in a miraculous way, life is better with Jesus. Disciples believed. It doesn't say that everybody else believed. It says the disciples believed. I was talking to a family after the 9 o'clock service. It's a family I've been connecting with week in and week out. And to see their journey on how they've connected with Keystone has been really special. I'd say a few months ago, the dad came to me and said, hey, Jody, we're praying for our house to sell because we found Keystone, but we live in like North Dallas, McKinney, Plano. But we found Keystone, and man, it's doing something special in my family's life. But we live so far away, but we're going to keep coming. We're going to keep coming. Honestly, when they first started coming, I thought, man, that's going to be tough. Driving every Sunday from North Dallas to Keller. Every Sunday, there and back, there and back. Got kids, little kids. Serve on our teams, and they're here. He said, you know what, Jody, we found the source. We found something special here, and we got to get closer. My daughter's about to be in student ministry, and I want her close to a good source. I want her close to something that Jesus can change her life in. I want her closer to the source. We found the source. We feel called here, but the drive. So if you could just pray, man, we're thinking about selling our house, moving over here, Fort Worth, Keller, thinking about it. What he didn't say, from this scripture, it went from inviting him into the situation, now he's involving Jesus. Jesus, would you sell our house? Jesus, would you just please sell our house? We found something. And we're praying. And we're believing. And literally, they're not in their water season. They're in their driving season, right? They're driving. McKinney to Keller. Back to McKinney. You thought you had a tough drive. But we're getting so much good stuff for our family, for our kids. So we're just going to keep pouring. I'm just going to keep leading. We're going to keep driving every weekend in their water days. A couple weeks ago, about a month ago, the front porch, he says, Jody, I want to tell you something. Man, our house sold this week. We've been praying. We've been walking. We've been talking to Jesus. We've been involving him. Our house sold. We're really excited. And you know what? We may have found a house over here in Fort Worth. We're really excited. Really excited. We're going to be that much closer to Keystone. See, when God calls you to do something, clearly, it changes your perspective. And what you thought were beat down days of driving from McKinney to Keller, they're not actually beat down days because he goes back every weekend filled up. He walks back into his life. He's like, man, I'm just a different leader. I'm a different father. When I invite and I involve Jesus into the situation, that's just different. I said, man, we're praying for that. House sold. New house in. Walks up to me before the service, or after the service. He says, dude, me and my wife were just nudging each other the whole time. He said, we've been in our water days for so long. He said, Jody, you're not going to believe this. I've been driving from Keller to Mesquite for my job. Keller to Mesquite for his job. Back and forth. Water days. Walking, waiting, just been praying. You know, I put in a request for a transfer. If I could just, I'm just praying about it. If I could just get transferred over to Fort Worth, it would shave like 50 minutes off my drive. It would be a 10-minute drive from my house, our new house over here in Fort Worth. It would be awesome, but you know what? If God does it, great. It's all good. Driving, walking, water days. Comes up to me after the service today. Says, Jody, you're never going to believe this. On Friday, my boss calls me. And he calls me, and he says, hey, you put that request in a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, to get moved over to Fort Worth. Hey, I want to let you know, we just went ahead and honored that. You don't even have to come back to this office. Tell you what, after your vacation next week, after you guys get moved into your new house, why don't you just report to Fort Worth? Why don't you just report to Fort Worth? Let's give God a hand on that. He said, Jody, you won't believe how this has built our belief. He said, you don't believe it. I didn't even really try. I just submitted it and then let God take it. Ooh, remind you of anyone? Hey, Mary, just take it. Hey, Jesus, here's my problem. You figure it out. He said, you know what? I want to be transferred. Figure it out, Jesus. I don't know. I'm not that good, he said. I said, mark this moment. Write it down. Capture it on video with your family. Because when you're in another season of waiting and walking and just pumping the water and you don't see anything happening, when you're in that season again, if you are, I pray you're not. But if you are, remember these water days and take them with you. Tell them about your kids when you're in a discouraging season. Oh, if you could only believe what God did for us in the seasons of water. May it build your belief. His story, his trust is for us. Jesus did something in this man's life and this family's life, and today we get to be a part of it. Have you invited Jesus in? And if you have, it's a great first step. Maybe today you can take another step and involve him. Get him in. Start taking your problems to Jesus. Let's pray together. Father, you know every situation. You know every circumstance. You know every part of the lives in this room that are running on empty, that are needing a miracle, that are praying for a miracle, desperate for you to step in and meet a need relationally, desperately needing for you to meet, to come in and meet a need of health. God, the needs in this house are real, and you know every single one of them, God. I pray that we be people of faith that invite you in and then get involved, that will do whatever you're telling us to do, whatever it looks like for us to get involved. I pray you'd give us the courage to walk into it, the strength to walk into it, to believe more, to trust more, and to give it to you. I pray this in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
Well, church family, if you are in a season, like Jody said, of lifting things up to God, we want to pray with you. We want to come alongside you in whatever season that you are in and encourage you with us. And you can let us know right now in just a moment. Our team is going to pass the baskets. We get to respond back to God and give. But on this connection card, there's one sitting underneath your chair, or maybe you're sitting on it. You didn't see it was there when you walked in. But on the back of this card, you can share with us, how are you inviting God into your life? What area do you need His involvement to make it better, to see your faith built up? Let us know. We'd love to pray with you. We are a church that is built on the belief that God answers prayers, story after story of God doing radical work. So let us know. We want to pray with you. We want to celebrate what God has done and is doing and look forward to what He will do. So go ahead and pull that card out. You can fill that out at this time. If you want to sign up for some other next steps options, however God has moved in your life, maybe you want to receive Jesus into your life. You want to invite Him into your life for the very first time. There's a box on the back that says, I became a Christ follower today. Check that and then come see us out in the lobby at the VIP areas. We'd love to talk with you about what it means to have a daily personal relationship with Jesus. You can also sign up for some next steps options. If this is your first time to be here at Keystone this morning, we want you to know you're a VIP. You're a very important person to us. We'd love to connect with you in person. In fact, that's why we have our VIP areas set up out here in the lobby. We've got a red carpet we've rolled out for you. We've also got one in the back hallway. So instead of dropping your connection card in the baskets when they go by in just a second, bring your card to the VIP areas. We'd love to meet you, connect with you personally there. So make sure that you do that. But if you need anything else, please let us know, church family. We'd love to pray with you. I'm going to invite our host team to come forward as we prepare ourselves to give. And here at Keystone, we love to give because we know that everything we give is something that God already gave to us. So we're just giving back to Him, saying thank you and anticipating what He's going to continue to do in our midst. And so however you need to give this morning, I hope you'll take advantage of some of these options, whether that's dropping your gift in the basket when they go by here in a second. Maybe that's using our Keystone Church app. It's really easy and quick to download, and that way you can stay connected with your church family all summer long through giving or watching online. You can always text in your giving, or you can go online, keystonechurch.com/give, to give anytime you would like. So I'm going to pray for us as we give today. God, we thank you that when we gather into your house, you do work here. You work in us. You work around us. You change us so that we can walk out there better people than when we came in. So we thank you for that. We thank you, Jesus, that you get involved in the nitty-gritty, the intimate details of our life, transforming them forever so that we can give you the credit. So we give back to you now our thankfulness. We give back to you now our faith, our hope. We give back to you, looking forward to what you're going to continue to do. Jesus, we love you. We thank you so much. In your name we pray. Amen. Well, while you're giving, check out this video.
Kids Camp is the best week of the summer for our kids, so if you have a kid entering 4th grade through 6th this fall, this week is just for them. Every year at camp, kids experience Christ in a powerful way. Every single moment is meant just for these kids. We work hard to create a safe environment where they can experience life change while creating strong friendships with kids their age. Every activity is done with their small group and their group leaders, so you don't have to worry about them being by themselves. Together, our kids will experience amazing worship and learning new things. And in the evening, there's always a surprise. The lip sync battle, I wish I was there. It's one of the best parts of the week. And then they get to wake up and do it all over again. Kids Camp is a life-changing week while growing closer to God, making new friends, and having a blast. My kids are going to camp. I'd love to see your family there too. July the 9th through the 13th. Don't forget to register at keystonechurch.com.
Well, Kids Camp for our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders is right around the corner. You see the dates there, July 9th through 13th. And Mom and Dad, if you have not signed up your kiddo yet for Kids Camp, you want to make sure their name is on the list. I know that it can be maybe a little scary at times, sending your little baby off for the very first time, but I promise you, this is a life-changing week of fun where God is going to do something special and powerful in their lives. They're going to come back with so many friends, and they're going to spend the whole week being poured into and encouraged by the small small group leaders who are Keystone Church family members going with them. So make sure you get your kiddos signed up. We still have a few spots available for different grades and genders. If you have any questions or you want to sign up for camp, you can do that out in the curved wall in the lobby at the summer booth. It says, "This is our summer." The table's there. We'd love to see you there to get you connected, answer your questions for camp. We also have student camp that's coming up. You can sign up for student camp and ask questions about that as well. Also in the curved wall, student camp is for our 7th through 12th graders, and it's coming up too, just a couple of weeks away. This is a powerful time, again, where God's going to do something special in the life of your teenager. So if your student hasn't signed up for that, we'd love to get them connected. It's going to be their favorite week of the summer. We guarantee it. And they're going to have a great time making a great relationship with God as well as great friendships with other students who call Keystone Church home. And you can do that also in the curved wall. And then mom and dad, for you, we have summer groups going on right now. We've got stuff for your family, for your kiddos. We've also got summer groups where we're talking about God's design for the family. So they kicked off this past Tuesday on the 19th. We're going to meet again this coming Tuesday. So if you haven't had a chance to sign up for a group yet, you can do that online at keystonechurch.com/groups, or you can just show up here, Keystone Church campus, this Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. We'd love to see you there. And then we also have our summer baptisms. They're continuing to roll. Last weekend, we celebrated so many baptisms, so many families between Wild Week on Friday and all 3 of our services this past weekend. And if you did not get baptized, but you want to, or you have questions, or maybe your son, your daughter has questions about it, let us know. You can go online to keystonechurch.com/baptism to sign up. We'd also love to connect with you on Kid Faith for your elementary age kid, or at students on a Wednesday night at a crew night upcoming about what it means to get baptized so that they can be a part, or so that you can be a part of our July baptism celebration coming up in a couple of weeks. We'd love to see you there. And then lastly, I want you to know, Starting Point kicks off in just a few minutes. And so if you're a little bit new to Keystone Church, but you're wondering, what's my next step? How do I get involved? How can Keystone Church become my church home? Then Starting Point is for you. Whether you've been coming for a couple of weeks or today's your first time, we'd love to see you there. Even if you didn't sign up, we've already got lunch taken care of for you. We'll take care of your kids and feed them as well. We just want to see you there. It'll be in the Rev Room immediately following this service in just a few minutes. It's out the back hallway. There's a sign hanging there that says Starting Point meets here. You can't miss it. We'd love to see you there. But let's go ahead and stand up. It's been a wonderful morning of worship. Enjoy your weekend. You are dismissed.